that. Don't make the black kids angry.
Yeah.
The war on black violence and dysfunction was opened on two more fronts this week. One, a book from a former federal prosecutor by the name of Nick Pilgrim. I saw this in the Daily Caller. He wrote a book called Black Culture Matters, and in the excerpt I saw, I'm looking forward to reading the whole book, he spoke very plainly about the problem with black people is not white racism, but whatever it is you want to call black culture. Then there's another. This is a study that just came out. It's starting to get a lot of attention. It's called Neo-Segregation at Yale. A guy from the National Association of Scholars. They did a nationwide study of all these colleges and universities, and they found what they codified what you and I already know, which says on college campuses there's an enormous amount of racial segregation. They're calling it neo-segregation, where the people who participate in this, they learn racial resentment, they learn about white racism, they learn that black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything. They even talk about what we talk about here too, which is once you get into one of these schools, you only have two choices. One, you learn reading, writing, and arithmetic at an elite college level, which for most people, if you don't belong there, is impossible. Or two, seek the solace of a black group on campus. And so, whatever course that you take, the right answer to the correct answer for every question is going to be the same: black victimization, white racism. So I was very impressed when I read that study. Easy to find, recommended highly. We're going to talk about both of these books in an upcoming podcast. So if you haven't checked out our podcast, check them out. We're getting some great reaction. Things been growing by like 45% a month. And it started out from a pretty healthy level as it was. And so, but here's the challenge for every single new person that comes into this front in this war on black dysfunction and violence. The challenge is, how do we speak plainly? How do we speak without rancor and racism and rancor and apology? And I think these two guys passed that test very well, because there's so many things to talk about. I mean, here, we get letters from two groups of people every day: bus drivers and cops. But and we've done podcasts with bus drivers, a couple of them, where they talk about how their life on certain routes, certain days, is one relentless stream of black on white violence and harassment, taunting. Never ending. But I've never seen a video like this, where a bus driver 2 months ago gets up in front of a city council or in front of a bus commission meeting, and he tells the people, "I'm not safe in my bus. I'm being attacked every day." 2 months later, this is what happened to him.
Well, Haley, at this time, TPD is not releasing the identity of the bus driver, but the bus driver's brother, Michael Dunn, has confirmed with us that the bus driver's name is Thomas Dunn. He actually worked for HART for about the last 3 years and actually complained to them a few months ago about not feeling safe as a driver, this just months before he was killed. Bus driver Thomas Dunn, the victim of a brutal stabbing, according to family members, killed while he was behind the wheel of this bus Saturday afternoon.
We take the safety and security of our passengers. It's a priority, and it's of paramount concern to all of us.
HART holding a news conference Sunday in response to Saturday's stabbing. It comes roughly 5 months after Dunn spoke at this meeting, raising concern about the safety of bus drivers after he says a woman who was a passenger assaulted him.
I'm just sitting in my seat. I hit a face a little bit in my eye, and then the lady decides that she's going to try to break my arm on the way out the bus, try to draw blood of her arm.
We asked HART about Dunn's remarks made at that December meeting, but officials wouldn't give specifics as to what was done in response to his complaint.
We put in a number of mechanisms to where we can receive that information. We have a number of safety committees throughout the organization, both on our transportation side, our maintenance side, as well as our streetcar side.
35-year-old Justin McGriff now behind bars, charged in the stabbing. A witness who was on the bus when it happened didn't want to go on camera, but did say Dunn and McGriff got into some sort of argument. That's when he says McGriff stabbed Dunn.
We're not saying anything about the bus operator other than he was a HART bus operator, a very committed, devoted employee.
And McGriff is being charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of resisting arrest. Tonight he remains in the Hillsborough County Jail.
There's just no way to speak politely about this. There's no way to speak inside of the boundaries of how the accepted way of speaking about race on national television about this. That's impossible. We just have to call it out plainly for what it is and hope the boundaries catch up to us.
Please, sir, I want some more.
What?
Please, sir, I want some more.
And that is, this black on bus driver violence is a pattern. It's a pathology. It's a sickness. It's not only the sickness part of the violence, which we document here many times, directed at bus drivers, but their true sickness comes from the people who are in denial, deceit, and delusion about it, who put these bus drivers into harm's way day after day after day without ever doing a damn thing about it, all because they just don't want to make the black kids angry.